In ST3, we've listened to our users and their request for framing and piping improvements. So let's just take a look at some of the improvements that we've made. Along with these improvements, we've also made improvements to the UI, as you'll see throughout this presentation. One is a Smart Step ribbon bar is back and is available to you during the design process. Another one you see here is the piping options. You now have the option for the pipe location to either come from the standard parts library or to browse for pipes directly from here. Same would be for fittings, either from the standard parts library or browse from a local drive or a shared drive. Another area and where we've made enhancements is the ability that whenever you manually place a fitting during the process, anytime you go through and make changes, the system's going to see and automatically update the fittings, which is what we've done in the past, but now with manually placed fittings, we're going to tell you, we're going to highlight to you those fittings that were manually placed and give you the opportunity to either go to the standard parts library or browse for them on your local hard drive. You can zoom to it if you can't see it there on the screen, but it takes you right there, and notice that it automatically found the size of that particular section that we changed to. So it was 3, we changed to 1.5 inches. It automatically recognized that, so we're making this process more fluid for you whenever you make these changes and the system sees these changes that are being made. Now we still have the same tools for you when it comes to creating the path, so we're going to just use Path Express here to get us the path that we want and cycle through those. But what we want to be able to show you is whenever you're adding fittings, we've made that process a lot easier for you. So we may want to come in here and we may want to add another fitting inside of this particular path. So what I want to do is I just want to be able to come in here and split the path. Let's go back and edit that definition to place that inside of there, and we're going to place a coupling. Since we split it, we need to place a coupling, so I can just go in here and we'll just grab a nice coupling and put it inside there. But one other thing I want to show you is, let's say we want to change this. We want to browse, and instead of having a coupling, I actually want to put a valve inside of there. We go ahead and we place it, but I want to be able to, it's not in the correct orientation, so I'm just going to change its orientation, and you can see how we can easily just change that orientation, just roll it all around there, any angle that you want. I'm just putting them at 90 degrees a piece, but you can see how easy it is now to place that particular fitting. Next is adding gradient. Gradient has been placed inside of here. We listened to your request on that, and so let's just build us a path. And I'm just going to, but you can see that it is 90 degrees, but I really don't want it to be. I want to add a little bit of gradient to there, so let's add angle to it, and let's put it in there at, say, 85 degrees. Now whenever we go build our pipe, we have the option. If I go in here and select this particular option, you'll see that it shows you the segment that it violates the angle requirements. Well, you can come in here and you can select this and you can put in what your maximum gradient is, and the system will automatically place the fittings and the pipe in there automatically. And you can go in at any time and you can make changes. So say we wanted to go to 81, you can see that the pipe has gone through, and just do a simple update, the pipe updates with no problem. So you can now add gradient to or slope to your piping assemblies. Now let's take a look at frame design and how and what we've taken from there, and let's go inside and in frame we've added many new features that we know you're going to like. Let's take a look at frame design. You notice I've been using the Radial menu a lot. This is where you can have common commands right at your fingertips to be able to start those commands and not have to go up to the ribbon itself. Here again we've added a couple of segments options that will show for you here in just a moment, but let's take a look at what we can do. So we're just going to go build a frame real quick, and one of the options that we had in the past, as you could go through and you can make changes to the actual placement of the section. Well, we can go through, we can change the angle, but one of the new options is the flip option, where I can flip. If I don't like the direction that it's going, I can easily just hit the flip option and it flips through there. You have many different points that you can show onto your section, and it helps you again just understand where this is actually going to be placed. So we'll know you'll find those options very nicely. Next, let's go out and make some other changes. I want to create an I-beam, and these are all from the DIN standard. And what we've added inside of the DIN standard is the ability to display Versalmass, and this is the location of the holes inside of my beam. Versalmass is a standard for the DIN, and so let's go through and let's just see what Versalmass is all about. So we'll go ahead and make these quick changes. One of the other changes that you'll see is as I go through here, and not only do I have these 9 points that I can choose from, but I can also pick up key points inside this section if I want to be able to place onto the actual cross section. Now we have this created. Let's take a look at what the Versalmass is all about. What you're able to do is go into the frame option and say retrieve the hole location from that cross section, and whenever we do, we're going to show you a surface of where the hole location is. Now you can set these up. We have these inside the DIN standard, but you can create your own. And so where your hole sections are going to be, you can place those inside of there. So this helps you place any bolted connections for your frames directly inside of the assembly. And we know you're going to like that. Now the next option is the ability to bring in, if you have a cross section, or excuse me, you have members that actually cross one another. What are some of the different options that we can place in there? It's right here. It says single frame for a collinear segment, or also a single frame for tangential segments. So here you can uncheck this, and what we'll do is we'll create one as a complete and one as being split. So whenever I place this out here, I need to go and let me zoom in on this so you can get a better look. Is you see that we have one that is complete straight and one that is actually split, but maybe I want to flip those. So we just come in here, grab that section, and now we have the option of showing the next collinear option. So if we hit this, you'll see that the option, this one now is complete and these two are split. So you can switch back and forth in selecting how it's actually going to be split. So that concludes this presentation of the improvements, the customer enhancements improvements that we've made to frame and piping and also the interface.